Hi guys, it's Katie. Welcome here to Life Mundane. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday on making the most little moments in homeschooling, home management, parenting, and everything in between. If those are topics that would interest you, I would love if you would take a quick second to subscribe down below. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the benefits of homeschooling kids with special needs. Just as a disclaimer, I don't believe that homeschooling is for everybody or the perfect fit, but I do think a lot of people question whether they are actually able or whether it's wise to homeschool their kids with special needs. So I just want to share today some of our perspective, some of our favorite things about getting to homeschool our children with special needs, and to share how you can enjoy that flexibility, that individualized education plan, and help them reduce that stress and anxiety. So let's get started. So, like I said, I just want to be super clear that I am not bad-mouthing or talking down to anyone that chooses any other educational plan other than homeschooling. That is not the point of this video. It is just to encourage those mamas out there who are considering this and scared to death, who are wondering, is this wise? Is this smart? Is this even possible? I'm here to tell you it is. And I want to share with you guys why it has been beneficial to our family. If you guys don't know this already, I have 6 kids. I have 2 with special needs, and it's been an interesting journey. Different issues. My oldest son is high-functioning autistic, and my 4th child, my second daughter, has a genetic disorder called 22q11.2 deletion syndrome, or what we call in our house is 22q. These have presented a variation of issues socially, emotionally, physically, a lot of physical issues for my daughter, and also educationally. And so we found that homeschooling has really been beneficial. The first point that I want to make is it's been really helpful with flexibility. Flexibility in timing of the day that we do school. My daughter has arthritis, is one of the outworkings of her genetic disorder, and she ended up getting diagnosed with juvenile arthritis. She's very sore and very stiff in the morning. It's very hard for her to just get up and function. She needs to have some wind down time, or she needs to have some time to warm up slowly and let her joints warm up before she can move. So we've been able to adapt our school day to that and either let her start later or make sure the things that are in the morning don't require her to move around a ton. We also have been able to have the flexibility to work around therapies, to work either at the doctor's office, to be able to do therapies during the day when kids are usually in school, and then we can just work a little bit later in the day, or the fact that school doesn't take as long. So there's more time for therapy to fit in. It doesn't have to be long, exhausting days for kids. We get flexibility as far as what days, if they need a mental health day, if they're just stressed to the max, we can switch things around a little bit. It's okay if we miss a day here or there. We can make it up later. And so we've really loved having that flexibility. With hospitalizations and surgeries, it's been a huge benefit to our family. Okay, but flexibility, I think, is what a lot of people think about when they think about the benefits of homeschooling. And I want to talk about the individual education plan. A lot of people, if you are familiar with public school, have heard about an IEP, an individualized education plan. And I think they don't realize that that when we homeschool, all of our kids get an IEP. All of our kids are getting an individual education plan, or they at least have the ability to, depending on your parenting style and your homeschooling style. But for us, we do. We look at each child and what they need. Just because we use a curriculum for one child does not mean we're going to use it for another. And we have used different ones depending on needs or abilities. We are able to tailor their curriculum. We are able to tailor to their needs as far as helping them out in the style that they learn. So if they're a visual learner, I might find a curriculum that is more visually based versus my auditory learners or my kinesthetic learners, things like that. I also really feel it's important to really emphasize our child's strengths. I feel like sometimes it can be hard or discouraging for our kids when they just hear, oh, I'm not good at math, and I'm not good at reading, and I'm not good at this, and school is just awful and hard. Well, I have children that have struggles in those areas, but that are also amazing at science or at art or at music. And so I get the opportunity to emphasize to them and give them large doses of the things they're good at while still working on the things they're struggling with. That kind of helps boost their confidence and helps them to still love school and love learning. Also, we are able to alternate. So I can give my child a non-preferred activity like math and then flip it with something like art and intermix and change the schedule around to fit their plan and to keep them on task and happy during the day. They're not going to be happy all the time. By no means are my kids happy all the time or excited to do everything all the time. But we have that flexibility and the ability to individualize things to that child that I've really appreciated. Now, the next thing that I think is a huge benefit is the fact that we can reduce stress and anxiety in our children. With my daughter, with her 22Q, she definitely has a tendency to be more anxious, but I also have children that don't even have special needs, but do struggle with anxiety. And so I feel like this is a really, really key thing that people are not talking about, and the benefits of having them at home. One, their days are not as long. They don't have to be wound. I've talked to so many friends, and I experienced this with my oldest son when he was in private school. He would spend all day at school just trying to keep it together and focus on the social part and listening to his teachers and learning and all of the stuff. And then he'd come home and he just let it loose out on me and the whole family. He would be exhausted. He would be mentally fried. He would be frustrated. And it was a lot to handle. Well, with this, the days are shorter. He can separate his things. Homeschoolers definitely have socialization. That's a whole different video for a whole different time, and don't get me started on it because I could go forever. But they get the opportunity to separate it. This is educational time. We're going to focus on our books and studying and learning. This over here is social time, because for our kids with special needs, a lot of times that is enough work in and of itself, that it's hard and frustrating and takes a lot of physical and mental and emotional energy. So getting to separate those a little bit so they can focus on one thing at a time really, 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 really helps when it comes to keeping them from getting really exhausted or anxious or frustrated. Another way that it has helped for my kids is because we get to focus on the bigger picture. So what do I want for my kids in the long run? What do I really, really want? I want them to love the Lord, understand about their relationship in regards to Him, and to develop that, hopefully, although that is not up to me. But I want to give them the tools they need and to help understand and expose them to as much of that as possible. I also want them to be able to relate with the world. I want them to know how to wash dishes and do laundry and how to show up to a job on time and how to be a good worker. I want them to have an understanding of functioning as an adult and to be a helpful member of society. The last thing is I want them to have good relationship and communication building skills for their individual relationships, whether that's marriage, roommates, bosses, whatever it is. I want them to understand how to relate to others. Obviously, with special needs, depending on the need of the child, there's going to be kind of a cap out, only a level to a certain point they can do this. But a lot of kids can accomplish these goals to at least some extent. Those are the things I'm most focused on. If my kid doesn't memorize their times tables, yes, I want to encourage them to do this, and I'm going to work with all of my kids on this. But if my child cannot memorize their times tables, they can function pretty well in life with a phone that has a calculator in it. It's not going to impede their ability to function as an adult. Also, with that, if my child doesn't understand every historical or scientific fact, whatever, they can Google, just like all of us do. If they can't spell perfectly, they have the ability to spell check. We can function as an adult without a certain level of this education. It doesn't mean we're not going to teach it. It doesn't mean we're not going to practice it. It doesn't mean that we're not going to emphasize it even. It just means that we can look at the bigger picture, take a little pressure off of their shoulders and ours, and let them enjoy learning and let them enjoy life and the skills that they need to function as adults. Focus more on social skills and on life skills than having to drill and drill and drill until your child just feels defeated and anxious and frustrated and hates learning altogether. So these are just some of the things that we have found helpful. I would just keep in mind that no one cares more about your kid than you. So yes, you may not feel perfectly qualified to teach your kids. You may be terrified at the thought of starting this adventure, but just know that no one cares more about them than you. And if you don't know it, you can learn it. You can figure out, you can find out how to do this. You can reach out for support. I would love to talk with you guys if you're thinking about homeschooling or if you've already started, you have kids with special needs. Please drop it down in the comments below. If you found this to be helpful, please share and like and always subscribe. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.